How are y'all doing? Welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Austin Johnson,
I'm Drew Covington.
and today we're just going to be recapping the crazy week that has happened in the NBA. A lot of big moves have happened in the league of late, big trades, big signings, and really just the offseason is in full swing. As of, let's see, I want to get this right. 8 minutes ago, Jaylen Brown, former Finals MVP, and Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He just got traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for two first round picks, two second round picks, and Paul George. So we're going to start off with that. This has been something that we had been hearing about for the last couple of weeks, of course, with the Celtics trying to get Giannis. But now they didn't end up getting him, and Jaylen Brown is a 76er. So, Drew, I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts, man?
I think my immediate thoughts are the the 76ers are a real threat in the East. Again, they are. They are. And this is without. And this is like keeping in mind, I'm not assuming that like Joel Embiid is going to be healthy. They're a real threat in the East without a healthy Joel Embiid. With a healthy Joel Embiid, they might be the favorite to win it all. I'm not even going to lie.
That's
Um
not crazy. If Joel Embiid could actually stay healthy, because he still has that MVP talent, it's never
yeah.
gone away. He just can't stay on the court. But
Yeah.
like, let's say 2023 Joel Embiid, that guy comes back. That's a finals team. And the only reason why I think people aren't saying that is because of his injury history.
Yes, yes. And yeah, and don't get me wrong. I think there are like concerns that like, well, concerns. I have concerns about this team's defense overall. Jalen Brown is a good defensive player, but I worry about Joel Embiid's defense in the big year of 2026. Tyrese Maxey isn't the greatest on defense. I will say VJ is really good, really solid on defense. But man, bro, like it's crazy that the Brown and Tatum era is over. Obviously, I would call it a success considering that they won a championship together. But it's obvious that like that's the Celtics organization, and not for what happens on the court, but seemingly for what happens off the court, really felt like they needed to move on from him. Obviously, they wanted to go and get Giannis. That didn't happen. So they traded him for Paul George. I do ultimately think that this is a mistake by the Celtics. You have two top 10 players in basketball on your team. I don't think you trade that away. But now, guess what? In my opinion, at least, the 76ers have two top 10 players in basketball on their team, plus Tyrese Maxey. That's not the Celtics, sorry, the 76ers. Plus Tyrese Maxey. That's that's something.
Yeah, I agree. I think obviously it was a success. I think there was more, they left more on the table, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely in this is the parity era that they came into the league in, basically. So I think they went to the conference finals at least four times, if not five. Went to two championships. Really could have won that one against the Warriors. I think just the experience of Stephen Curry really got them, and that's gonna happen unless you're like LeBron or something like that, or what Kawhi did in the playoffs, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, I think that was the era of the Jays. It's funny, both of them, like if you look at their career evolution, like from when they started in 2016 and 2017, I don't think maybe Jason Tatum. And of course they drafted Jaylen Brown high. I don't think they ever thought Jaylen Brown was going to be this good, where
Yeah.
you could say, all right, Jason Tatum gets hurt. Jaylen Brown's our number one, and he's going to be an MVP candidate, arguably one of the best players in the league, arguably first team All NBA. I
Yep.
don't think they ever thought he was going to be that good. Maybe after his first couple All Star seasons or whatever, but definitely not when they drafted him. I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And so definitely it was a success. My only problem with the trade, because it had to happen. You look at it, they were actively shopping him for almost a month.
Yeah.
And I think the media didn't help. Guys like Stephen A. talking about the Celtics have to trade them, the Celtics have to do
Oh my
this, blah
gosh.
blah blah. And them getting into like little spats on social media. I think that was they had overblown it. And you could see that Jaylen Brown was comfortable with being the guy. So it kind of had to happen because once the Giannis trade didn't happen, it's like, okay, I get it. You wanted to trade him for Giannis. But if I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm like, I just want a finals MVP. We won a chip a couple years ago. I was an MVP candidate at one point, and you want to trade me? And you know, athletes are very delusional and they have supreme confidence. So I bet in Jaylen Brown's head, he's like, yo, if you're going to trade me, and you obviously everybody knows, just let me leave. And they got him to the 76ers. And I think the pairing of with Maxey, with Joel Embiid, and then also you have young players like BJ Edgecombe. They just drafted LeBaron Philon, my sleeper, telling you he's going to ball. LeBaron Philon is going to hoop. And then you just have a lot of good players. I think the Sixers are definitely top three in the East for sure, with or without Embiid being healthy. And I think they have to, the Celtics should have gotten something better out of the trade. Because, yes, draft picks are cool, but you don't know how they're actually going to pan out. And that's my only issue with it. Paul George, I think he got drafted in 2011, 2012. He's about to be in year 15, year 16. He's not like LeBron or KD where he's that much of a needle mover. He's going to be like your third option, and you have him as your number two now. So
Yeah.
I would say you didn't get enough out of him for that. And there were too many good players on the Sixers to trade one of your best players and not get a Tyrese Maxey, not get BJ Edgecombe. Obviously, I don't think they were going to trade Joel. Really could have, think about it, with the injury history. But because they still obviously he's a staple of Philly. I knew that wasn't gonna happen. But to not get anybody, not even like LeBaron, like your first round pick, you just say Paul George here. The Sixers really got off with a good trade, and shout out to them. Whoever, is it who's the guy from the Rockets? Is he still there?
It's not. No, they fired him, which I actually wanted to talk about. I want to talk about real quick. They fired him, but they decided to keep Nick Nurse. I think that keeping Nick Nurse now, knowing that like what this team has, is such a great decision.
Yeah,
I
it is.
love Nick Nurse. I think he's one of the best coaches in basketball, and I'm glad that they were patient. They were like, okay, cool. Their new GM came in and said, no, we're going to keep you here, and we're going to build a talented team. We have the bones here. We're just missing a couple pieces, and obviously that piece is a guy who probably, in my opinion, should have been All NBA first team, and was an MVP candidate. And one more thing I want to add on, Brad Stevens, man. I do think Brad Stevens is one of the best GMs in basketball. However, man, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like it's simple. Like you're trying to get Giannis, and you don't get Giannis because you're not willing to move off of two guys who have just got in the league, and you're not willing to move off these young guys when they probably won't pan into like much. You're not willing to move off of them, so you miss out on Giannis, and now you get a 34-year-old Paul George who's coming off of a season in which he played what, maybe 50 games.
I doubt he even played that much because you remember he was suspended for like 20.
Yeah, exactly. Like what do we like? I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
trade that didn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense, and it shows that this trade was really about one thing: moving off
Paul
of
George is
Brown.
36.
36 years old. And again, it just shows that this is about moving off of Brown more than building a great team around Jason Tatum. I kind of feel bad for Tatum on a level. I think obviously he'll be back next season. He'll probably play very well, but like this will probably be the worst version of the Celtics he's played on, like Brown played on last year. So
Yeah. I mean, I think Jason Tatum coming back, coming off the Achilles injury, he still performed very well. I
yeah,
think he's going to kill, and he will definitely have his chance. I forgot though, they just signed Dean Wade too.
mm.
So a starting five of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Dean Wade, Joel Embiid, and then LeBaron is your sixth man. That's a very good
They
offense.
still have Kelly
They're not
Oubre,
going
right?
to be playing a whole lot of defense, but there's not
Yeah,
a lot of teams that are going to score with them.
yeah. They still have Kelly Oubre, right?
He's a free agent. I'm assuming since they signed Dean Wade, they're probably not going to. I think he did went opted into his player option and uh they can match it. They can match the money, but I highly doubt they're going to do that now.
Okay, okay, but yeah,
But
crazy.
definitely good for the Sixers. I don't see how you get. I don't see what you get out of Paul George now. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I like Paul George, but 36 years old, and you traded him away for he was your number one, your former Finals MVP. I don't know about that one, man. But definitely an interesting day in the NBA. Interesting last few days, and I think we should segue that into the biggest news of yesterday. LeBron James, man, my goat, the goat. He's not coming back to the Lakers. The Lakers announced on their page, LeBron and Jeanie Buss did, he will not be returning. And I think it was a success overall, like his Lakers tenure. If you look at like what he did in LA, just like his accomplishments, 8-time All-Star, 5-time first team All NBA. I think he was All NBA a couple more times, but that's still really good. So, and that was all after he turned 34. So I think the Lakers tenure was a success. We got him a championship, was assist leader in the league, was on the MVP finalist multiple times. And yeah, I don't want to see LeBron on another team. Him ending in LA would have been cool, but just to move for the Lakers, it was the right move. They just signed Austin Reeves to an extension. I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah,
Um, and then they just picked up Walker Kessler as well. I don't know what the Lakers are really going to do, how they're going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of kind of like Dallas. It's like Luca, you're going to go kill Austin. You're going to play iso ball and just we're going to see what happens. And I think that will get them still 45 to 50 wins, but I don't see them still being championship contenders unless they make another big move, which I feel like they made another, but I don't think so so far.
yeah. I think I disagree with a lot. I have a lot of. I'm a very opinionated guy. I disagree with people. But one thing that Austin and I can agree on, I do think LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. Cool guy, great father. Great player, and I think a lot of people are going to probably Stephen A. Smith will probably tomorrow say that, oh yeah, his Lakers tenure was a failure. That's false. He brought them a championship. As he said, he probably would have won MVP in 2021. He had an argument to win MVP in 2020 when he was averaging 26 and 10 assists. Um, yeah, he's great.
And you could argue in 2021 if he didn't get hurt, they would have won that chip
Oh
again.
yeah, if
And
in
I
2021
I
if that
believe
team
that
was healthy, yeah,
because they were up 2-1 against the Suns in that first round, and AD got hurt, and then they lost. I
yes,
think they would have won that series.
yes, I think we definitely. I will say they would definitely get the uh, out of the West. Obviously, facing up Milwaukee in the way that like Giannis played that series, that's something different. But yeah, I wanted to put that caveat there. I want LeBron James to retire. I'm tired, man. I don't know. I think my the way I envision the rest of LeBron's career was either he just stays in LA for another year and retires, or he just retires this offseason. LeBron and Rich Paul have came out and said they're like, hey, not really big on this retirement tour thing, not really like craving that. So if he just literally came out yesterday and said that was my last NBA season, I would be like, okay, cool. Shout out Go James, bro. You the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, bro. But he still wants to play basketball, and I understand why. He's still a top 20, top 25 player in basketball. Like I'm not. He still has a lot to offer the game, as he said. Hey man, until I can't give nothing to the game. Da 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 da. I understand. You know what I'm saying? But also, I think we're at a point with the NBA that we're ready to move on from Bron. We have a new face of the league. We have new stars. The league is ultra and uber talented, man. We have it. We have it. LeBron wants to stay a little bit longer. Just retire. In terms of the Lakers, yes, it makes sense. It's still not a great thing, specifically for Luca, because Luca is obviously still great. Luca will probably average between 32 and 35 points next year and average that same 9 and 9. and be, a top 2 point guard in basketball, what he usually does.
Right.
But we have to really see if Austin Reeves is ready to be the second option on a championship caliber team. I don't think he's proved that. I think he's proved that he's pretty solid, can score a lot, but I don't think he's proven that he can be essentially his Kyrie on that 2024 team with Dallas. I don't think he's proved that.
I don't
Um,
either.
yeah, and Rob Pelinka, he has to build around his team. This is now the time. The post LeBron era is here. Whether you keep your job or not really rests on like the next 2 years. Again, Luka is in his prime. The clock is ticking. You gotta make some moves.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I don't know. I feel like they'll probably re-sign Rui, and then they'll probably re-sign Rui. I think I agree with you. He's not the number, they're not the number two yet. Because like at worst, if Austin Reeves plays bad, he can defer to LeBron, and LeBron was still talented enough to say, okay, I know when to turn that switch on and go score. Especially if Luka wasn't playing, or if Austin Reeves wasn't playing. So I think that is something we have to still see. He's a very talented player, but he's got to be all-star level to
Yeah,
like really make them a contender. And then I think also with the Lakers not re-signing some of the role players, like they had good role players this past year, like Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, they both left. Smart went to Houston, Kennard went to Phoenix, and then Jackson Hayes too. I mean, of course, he's not that big of a needle mover, but at least you had depth at center, and they let him walk to the Jazz. So I'm really interested to see like what you're going to do with your bench and also just guys who can knock down shots. I feel like they're going to make a trade at some point. Rui
yeah,
is obviously going to have a bigger role, and I'm actually cool with Rui. Like, I think he's more talented than just a catch and shoot guy. So I think he'll be a little bit better, but I don't see them as contenders. They're not better than OKC. They're not better than San Antonio. You could say they might be worse without LeBron. We'll have to see. But obviously, financially and just for moving forward, moving off LeBron was a smart thing. It's just that people are gonna give them flack, of course, and say things like he wasn't appreciated by fans, which to a degree, I don't think he was, but it's because LA is LA.
yep,
They have 17, 18 championships.
yeah,
So it's like you had Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Shaq. That's a lot of great talents and Hall of Fame players to live up to in years after he turned 34, and he still did a good job. So respect, you got to respect it regardless. And I will say this, why I don't want LeBron to retire is kind of personal. I've never seen LeBron play in person,
fair,
so until that
fair.
happens, until that happens, I need to see my dog play. So
That's
my
fair.
goal is to try and see him because I do feel like this is his last year regardless. I think we could talk about this too. Um, they're talking about him. There's a couple teams that they say that LeBron might go to. The Warriors. Um, they said the Timberwolves. I don't believe that's going to happen. And I do think the Warriors with Curry and possibly Anthony Davis, some of that is not realistic. Would be fun to watch, but I don't think they're going to win a championship or anything like that. I would
Okay.
love for him to go out on top, but as long as it's like fun hoops, I think LeBron's last year, wherever he goes, is just going to be for vibes, and we kind of just have to be like, this is LeBron's last year. We're gonna let him rock, get his shots up. He's still going to be a good player, and we just got to enjoy it. I'm not looking at it like since he's my go. I think he's already the best player ever. Of course,
Yep.
like I want him to get close to 6 rings or even tie Kobe, but like the rings to me aren't the end all be all. We know what he did in his career, and it's not like he's like Kevin Garnett or Shaq at the end of their careers where it was like, Jesus, you need to stop playing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like his talent's still there. Like you try it. Same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't play as long where he wasn't like at the top,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I feel like they're both of the same ilk. It's like I'm gonna retire when I suck, and just for him, he still has a good bat at 42 or 41.
yeah. Yeah, I think, and honestly, we can talk about the Golden State stuff now because, like, I will say when you said about the Lakers, yeah, I mean, yeah, like Lakers fans are kind of spoiled, just like Boston fans are. Their expectation is championships. That is the only thing they expect. So yeah, man, like that's just a part of their culture. You know, they're gonna be a little ungrateful. I think obviously there are Laker fans out there, lots of Laker fans out there that's like, wait, we got the greatest player of all time who played was in a Lakers jersey and he won a championship there. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? I can say that LeBron James played for my team and delivered my team a championship and was at one point the best player in the world while wearing a Lakers jersey. That's it. You know, if I was a Lakers fan, I'd say that's enough, bro. If LeBron James instead said, you know, I'm going to the Rockets in 2020 in 20 like 18, bro, I'm hyped. You know what I'm saying? That's LeBron, the GOAT playing for
It's
Houston. Like, come
it's
on, bro. Um,
Facts.
so
And like every team he's been on, he's won. So like
yes,
you can't really give him flack for any of these moves. It's just the times that we live in, people are just gonna shit on him for certain things that he does, and
yeah.
I've accepted that at this point.
Yeah. I will say though the Golden State stuff. I'm unfortunately friends with a Golden State fan. I know Golden State fans, unfortunately. I want them to know sincerely, Curry and Bron linking up. That's not a championship team.
I
Curry,
mean,
Bron, and AD, not a championship team. They probably still a playing team, bro. Like I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Like I think the weird thing about it is that Curry at this point in their career, Curry is the best player out of the three. I think Curry is, but I don't think Curry can lead this team to a championship. You're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna bring in Braun to relieve like the pressure off of Curry. What the pressure's still gonna be there. We're gonna bring in AD. The pressure's still gonna be there. What are we doing? It's still gonna be Curry. You know, Curry got to do everything. You know.
depends
Um.
on who's still there. It depends on who's still there. I think a very like I don't see how this would happen, but let's say Jimmy Butler was still there somehow, which I
Yeah,
don't think
bro.
that would happen. I think it would be it would be a meme for sure of like the Expendables with like the all the old like all the old movie stars and like they're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
put
yeah,
together. It would be something like that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it would be great basketball to watch. I don't think they would be OKC or San Antonio, but they could be Denver. They could be Minnesota. Like I
Yeah.
don't. They could be Houston. Like I don't see. There are only two teams right now that like look like they're head and shoulders above the rest of the West. I think there are a lot of teams that are good, but like OKC and San Antonio are obviously the two teams to beat.
Yep.
Denver, they still haven't made any crazy moves. Yeah, Denver hasn't. Minnesota got LaMelo Ball, but they traded away Naz Reid, so they're
Yeah. We can
very
talk about
short.
that too.
Yeah, that's actually a good segue. We'll talk about that in a second. Who else? Houston. Fred Van being healthy this year will make a little bit of a difference, but still, like, Amen Thompson, yeah, just a little bit. They just have a facilitator. Kevin Durant is still your best player, and he's 38.
Wait,
And then,
I just remembered something. We might trade
uh,
KD or Sengun.
maybe.
Maybe.
We'll
Get
see.
them off my
Who
team.
are you trading them for?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm just thinking, cause like again, obviously the KD stuff this season, not a good look. Not a good look at all. The KD files didn't play in the playoffs. Not a good look at all. Sengun stock dropped from last year, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
got locked up by Jackson Hayes, bro. We got
And
to do better.
the only young guy on this team who was actually like kind of like solidified as safe is Amen Thompson, cause like he does his job pretty well. So
And weird, bro. Amen Thompson. You're not watching this, but get a jumper. Jesus
please,
Christ.
if you get a
Oh
jumper,
my God.
I swear to you, bro. If you get a jumper, I'm not even asking, bro. Just shoot 35% from three.
Yeah.
League average. If you shoot 35% from three, bro,
That's a
you're the
top five
greatest
player in the
rocket.
league.
You're a
More than
top
that.
25 player in the league. You enter to like the because like no one can defend like you. You're still a solid passer. You get to the rim at ease, and you can shoot
because
average. Come on, bro.
he's more athletic than everybody on the court,
Bro, please.
basically. So like, yeah, it really is. So he needs if he gets a jumper, that's a top 10, top five, a top 10 at worst in the league. Like he was already getting DPOY votes.
Please, please, please.
Get a
Okay.
jumper. Get with lethal shooter.
Get with
Somebody.
lethal shooter, bro. You saw Giannis get with lethal
Jesus
shooter.
Christ.
His mid range is. Come on, bro. Please, 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 please,
I can't stand guys like that because you really, I mean, I understand shooting and training is, of course, different from shooting in the game. But to the point where you have the ball on the wing and
please.
dudes are in the paint, bro, come on, man. We have to do better. We have to
We
do better. Get in the lab, please. You are an NBA player. I know you be in the gym. And that's my thing, like, too. I don't, well, I get it. But what are you guys working on at this point? You don't need to work on your defensive slides. You don't need to work on speed,
You don't need to work on
anything like
defense.
that. You all you need to do, the handle's there too. All you need to do is work on your jump shot.
Handle's not completely there, but you know
It's
we can.
still
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
serviceable.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Like
serviceable. It's serviceable.
at least you could be a jump shooter.
Yeah, yeah,
Like at worst, like you in the corner, you could catch the ball and shoot.
yeah,
But like they're not even there with that yet. I'm not even talking about scoring off the dribble because that's a different level of scoring. That's very hard to do in the NBA.
yeah,
But like, just catch the ball, get the laces around, and shoot it. Or like, if they're gonna sag off to the free
yeah.
throw line, you should be able to hit the shot.
Please, please, please. So another thing that we referenced earlier was LaMelo Ball is now a Timberwolf. They traded him for a decent amount of picks and also pick swaps with the addition of Nas Reed. They also the Hornets also traded away Miles Bridges earlier this week as well.
Like, go shout out RTVNB, man.
Your goat?
You don't know about his rap career, bro. You
Well, yeah,
just
yeah.
not tapped.
I know 27 days, 27 nights, but you know your goat.
I'm not gonna lie, he has actually a decent amount of songs like people play on the aux. Not gonna lie, but obviously, when I talk about my goat, strictly from like that's a cool guy. Like not like he's not one of my favorite players, but that's
Gotcha.
how I when I say it like that for context to the viewers and you in this case,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean by that. My goat. I
Gotcha.
only say my goat for real when I'm talking about LeBron. That
Gotcha.
is the real goat.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, I think both of those trades are kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like on one side, like I get why Minnesota did it. They needed a point guard, they needed a real facilitator. Too much was on Ant's shoulders. I get that. But they just signed Ayo Dosunmu
Yeah.
for like 20 mil a year. That's not bad. He's a good defender and he can catch and shoot. He can do many things. Understandable. But with them trading away Nas Reed, that means that the starting five, because you're paying Ayo too much money to not start him. So
Yeah.
now you have Melo, Ant, Ant, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden McDaniels, and Rudy Gobert. That is a very small lineup.
Yeah.
And now, when you're driving and kicking, Ant is a good catch and shoot shooter.
Yes. Obviously.
Jaden McDaniels is a little suspect at times. He's very up and down. Io can get you there, but this is still a very slashing type of team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering how that's going to look on offense. Rudy Gobert is still a double, triple negative on offense, and now you have more pressure on him on defense because at least they had the size when they had Cat, when they had Nas Reed.
Yeah.
Hell, they could have put all three of them in at once. So now to just be like, okay, Rudy, go defend. And I do think Ant and Jaden McDaniels and I are solid defenders, but it's not the same. It's not the same thing. There's not as much size. Like rebounding would be a problem. So I get that, and I think I don't know what Charlotte was doing trading LaMelo Ball. I get it. Like he wasn't necessarily a winning player, but they didn't have necessarily a winning team around him either. I think there'll be a play-in team again, or maybe a six seed or so. Like they signed Kobe White, um, yeah, Kobe White, Con Knuckle, Brandon Miller, and that's a solid group. Nas
Yeah.
Reed, I think they can do something, but I don't know. If I were Charlotte, I probably wouldn't have traded LaMelo. That's still an all-star level player. Besides injuries and just him being a dumbass on
Yeah.
and off the court at times, that's still a player that's an all-star, borderline all NBA third team, all NBA player.
Yeah, I think I have like questions about both sides for this trade. I think obviously there's a lot of pressure on the Timberwolves to get a star this summer, especially with the way that the Timberwolves season ended, and also seeing guys like Cat win a championship, guys like Nikhil Alexander Walker win Most Improved Player of the Year. They have consistently lost talent that they previously had, and those guys have grown to become better players.
Yeah.
Um,
And side note, they didn't have to let
yeah.
those guys go.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't have let go of Cat. I like Nas Reed. He was a six man of the year, so I understand that. Wouldn't have let him go. Same thing with Nikhil. He wanted more money, but he was asking for like 15. His contract wasn't crazy enough where you're like, we can't sign this guy. And he was a very good player, and you see what he's doing now in a more expanded role.
Yeah.
I would take him over Bones Island, who they ended up re-signing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
would
agree with
take,
that.
you could argue Nikhil is better than I would assume. I
And
love
Nikhil's a
I would
great
assume.
defender. He's a great defender.
Yeah. You could argue like you could have just stayed with him and you would have saved a lot more money and not signed two players when Nikhil could really do the job of both.
Yeah,
You could say Bones is a better shot creator, but he's not going to give you anything on defense.
yeah,
And then if his three is not falling,
yeah. I'm starting to worry that like the core that got them to the Western Conference Finals is going to be completely gone in like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like we're seeing these guys who are the reason why they got to the Western Conference Finals, for 2 years back to back, be moved off of and be traded up elsewhere. And hell, Nas Reed might come back and win Most Improved next year. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I'm worried about that. I will say LaMelo's a good player. I do have concerns. He's only played like over 65 games, I think twice in his career. He's played for like I think 5 or 7 years. That's an issue. Health is an issue. But this year he was top 10 in offensive rating. He led one of the best offenses in basketball. He is an offensive engine. I think that's true at this point. I think that's something. He's an offensive engine. He's one of the best passers in the league. And yeah, I think this offense should be interesting. This offense plays a very different brand of offense than Charlotte. This is not a team that can chuck up 15,000 threes. They cannot. Ant can do that, but like obviously, Rudy Gobert is not doing that. Jaden McDaniels is not doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Finch decides to gear Melo into this offense. I think letting go of Nas Reed is a big loss, considering that Nas Reed is a good 3-point shooter and is a good defender. I think that you're putting more pressure on Rudy Gobert, who is 34. I think he turned 35 last week. A lot of pressure on him to be, again, anchor a top 10 defense. I don't know if he'll be able to do that. And a big part of why you guys made these deep runs is that defensively, you were physical and consistent. I don't know, since you don't have guys like, although Julius Randle is like a negative, you don't have guys like Julius Randle that can defend. You don't have guys like Nas Reed that can defend. You don't have guys like Cat that can bring size. You don't have guys like Nikhil Alexander. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of concerns. On the side of Charlotte, it looks like they're going for a reboot, essentially. I don't know what they're doing exactly. I can't even try to explain it, but they have good
you could
players.
call that a rebuild in a way
Yeah,
because
like a
they have
soft rebuild. I don't know.
yeah because they have the talent. Like they have Khan, they
Yep.
have Brandon Miller. And they're kind of like we're gonna go in this direction. I wouldn't have done it, but maybe you know something I don't.
Yeah. Maybe. But
I think really, my bad, but
no, you're fine.
I wouldn't have traded Cat
Yeah.
because Cat was a way better shooter than Julius Randle. He could also facilitate if given the opportunity to, like if that's the role that he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle is going to put his head down and try to put his shoulder in your chest. And if his shot is not falling, that is his only means of getting to the basket.
Yeah.
So I would have kept Cat. I think Gobert probably has maybe 1 year left. I don't.
Probably.
They probably would have moved off of him if his contract wasn't so hefty.
Yeah, probably.
Because it was just a lot of money. But I don't. Yeah, I think what's really sad that could happen, Ant might take the LeBron route, bro. It's looking, it's looking like it. And is obviously he hasn't performed to like the gaudy levels that first stint Cleveland LeBron did, but he got drafted number one. They were too good to really be high in the lottery again for his second year. And
Yep.
then they made some conference finals runs, and they're they're making more of an attempt, Minnesota is, than Cleveland, to surround him with talent. But I don't see them again. Like I said before, are they better than OKC?
No.
Hell no. Are they better than the Spurs? Mm-mm. So it's like they're going to be trying multiple methods, and I think maybe when his contract is up, or 1 year he's going to ask for a trade unless there's something that really, really moves the needle. Hopefully, because obviously we all been watching LaMelo since he was in Chino Hills, so
Yep.
we want them to succeed. But I don't see them winning a chip. I have to see a lot more serious basketball and just I have to see how that goes first. But that could
Yeah.
happen in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. I think Ant is obviously extremely talented. I think he's a borderline top 10 player in basketball. And I think, honestly, if someone looked at me and said that, like, he's the best American player in basketball currently, I'd say, yeah, sure. I mean, I still think it's Tatum, but, like, 28 off of 50, 40, that moves people. That moves me. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this team evolves, man. I think it's just unfortunate that like they just couldn't keep the iteration of the team they had. Cat has proven that he is a second option on a championship team. He can and also prove that he can facilitate, man. He can be, and don't get me wrong, even with that iteration they had with against Denver, that they beat Denver and obviously lost to the Mavs. They still have point guard issues. Mike Conley is not going to get you there. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? But man, it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. I hope that like I want Ant to stay at the Wolves. I think that he's done a lot for this team's culture. But if the team ain't building around you like they should, yeah. And also like I'm not gonna lie to you, the bar in the West has raised. You keep bringing it up, but yeah, that's the bar. Are you better? Can you compete with OKC or the Spurs? Especially because the Spurs today signed Tobias Harris, which is a great signing for them. Can you
Yeah.
compete with those two teams? If you can't, you might as well scrap the season, especially if they're all healthy. That's the bar, and if you can't reach the bar, man, you gotta figure
And
stuff out.
even if they're not healthy, De'Aaron Fox wasn't fully healthy the last month
Yeah,
and a half of the playoffs.
yeah,
Didn't matter. They still got to the finals.
yep,
And you now have obviously the starting five that they brought. Tobias Harris, for his standards, he really performed this year in the playoffs.
mm-hmm.
He was at times a really good second scorer. Not what you need as a second scorer. Of course, you don't want him to be that, but he stepped up and actually made an impact on a lot of those games. So to have him, you could start him or Champagne. You could start Fox or Dylan Harper, and I do think Fox should be starting. So the
Get
Spurs,
Fox
and
off.
they drafted Jaden. Hmm?
Get Fox off the team today.
I don't know who's going to be willing to take up that contract, bro. He's
Figure it
making
out.
50 million a year. Unless they trade him to the Kings, or they
Trade
just
him to the
actually get
Kings, please, please, bro. Trade him to the Kings.
they just got Darius Acuff, so realistically that wouldn't happen, but they would have to dump his contract somehow. But they drafted Jaden Quintance as well.
Yep.
A big power forward. When he's healthy, that's actually gonna be a really good that's gonna have a good payoff for sure defensively, rebounding, take pressure off of Wemby. And then just if you want to put somebody at center, you can put him there instead of somebody like Luke Cornett, and
Yep.
or Mason Plumlee or whichever Plumlee was there. It will definitely be better for sure.
So, Kawhi to the Raptors.
I'll let you get your thoughts off first. I just want to say this, bro. You could have just stayed in Toronto this entire time.
True, true. You wasted
That
5
was
years.
more than that, bro. He
Yeah. Oh
left
yeah,
like
yeah. Actually,
that
yeah.
happened in 2018. He only played
19.
1 year there. So yeah, it was 20. It was going into 2019 when they won the chip. So from 2019 till now, so 7 years, and you're going back to Toronto, where you're seen as the guy, the only one who brought them to the chip. You could have stayed.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't win anything, and now injuries obviously played a part in it almost every year.
Yeah.
But you could have stayed. I'll let you get your thoughts off first, but that's my thought.
I
You
mean,
could
my
have really just
response
stayed.
to that, yeah. I mean, like, obviously, that like iteration of the Clippers, it was a well built team. They
Yeah,
lost the
for sure.
second round. I can't like, but like they're a well built team. Playoff piece showed up and they lost. You know what I'm saying? So that it happens. But they if he just would have returned, they would have been the favorites to come out the East the next year. Especially knowing how Pascal Siakam got better, how guy like it's how guys like
OG
OG
didn't play
Anunoby.
that whole. He didn't play that whole finals run.
Exactly, like how like the guys on this roster, Fred Van Vliet got better. Like the guys on this roster got
Norman Powell.
it exactly. A lot of these guys got a lot better between the time you left. So you kind of wasted time. A lot of people are saying that like he's just dodging the Rico. He doesn't want to be involved in the whole, which I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's
Good
funny.
joke, but also smart. I
Yeah, it's
can't
smart.
lie.
It's smart. It's smart. But I will say my main thought when this trade happened is A, did they move off of Brandon Ingram? Yes. And my second one, Scotty Barnes is going to go crazy next year. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's going to do. And again, I said on the pod that like Scotty Barnes is someone who I'm very high on post this playoff. Again, just look at the stats, man. He went from averaging 18 points per game to 24 and 8 assists in the playoffs. Like he to have a guy like that who can be your best defender and also hell maybe your best playmaker on your team while also giving you 25 points per game is like really rare. A lot of people say, there's not a lot of Jokic types in the league, that Jokic is one of one. I think Scotty Barnes is pretty good at basketball. I think he shows shades of him. And he can actually play defense. So I think pairing him next to, Kawhi, who is literally on the edge of my top 10 players in the league, is a fantastic pairing. I'm excited. I think they should have beat Cleveland in the first round. But man, I'm excited for Scotty Barnes. I'm excited for Scotty. I think this is going to do wonders for Scotty Barnes' development as a player. And I think obviously Kawhi is going to get his. Especially if he's
Yeah.
healthy. He got his this year. Had one of the best statistical years of his career. So I think he's going to get his. But man, I think Scotty Barnes is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think for Scotty's career, they're kind of similar player builds. Like,
Mm.
obviously, Kawhi has expanded his game
Hmm.
offensively to the point where, like, scoring off the dribble, getting to his spots, definitely his three-point shooting. But at this point in their careers, it was about the same. The only difference was Kawhi played with Tim Duncan and Manu in the Spurs and got to, like, not have to be the number one. But when it was time, he rose to the occasion. And Scotty has been a good number one, like for Toronto. I would say he was a number one over Brandon Ingram. Maybe not offensively as a scorer, but obviously Brandon got hurt and couldn't stay healthy either. So I would say there are two problems that I look at for Toronto when I look at this. I want to preface this by saying I do think they'll be top four at minimum in the East, and they could be even higher. My two problems though are, can Kawhi stay healthy? Because
Hmm.
that's been the problem. It's like every other year, great season hurt, might be hurt for a super duper long extended period of time. But then when he plays really, really well. So I just say, can he play at that level and stay healthy for an extended period of time again? Then I would say point guard.
Yep.
Um, RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly, they're okay. They're solid, they're competent, but I don't think you're beating well now because I was gonna say that they're not beating Boston with those as your point guard. Boston just traded Jaylen Brown. I don't think they're beating. I don't think they're beating the Knicks. You would have to have them play better with those as your point guard, as your two guards. RJ Barrett can't really shoot like that. Emmanuel quickly also has his weaknesses, and then is Jakob Poeltl going to be your center?
Yep.
Somebody who can't stay healthy is either. He's okay. Like there are little weaknesses here and there, but because Scotty and Kawhi are so good, I'm expecting them to be better. And they didn't really lose a ton in the trade, like Brandon Ingram for Kawhi Leonard. I'm taking Kawhi Leonard any day of the week. Same thing with
Yep.
Grady Dick. He was
Yeah.
a good player in college, but I haven't seen too much of him in the NBA. He's
Yeah.
okay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at the trade. I just want to see how it looks like when you put the pieces all together. And they'll need to make a couple more moves for sure, but it's definitely not bad. But can they beat the Knicks? Can they beat the
Yeah.
Sixers when healthy? Even Boston with Jason Tatum as the number one, can they beat them? We'll have
Yeah.
to see about that. And that's my only real questions. I think they're gonna fit together well. It's just about like when it's crunch time and the game is on the line, you can't just give it to Kawhi every time. You can't just give it to Scotty every time. You actually need somebody who's gonna knock down shots from outside if let's say they have a bad game. Because Scotty's not a real 3-point shooter. He's okay, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say he's great. So that's all my thoughts about it. Same thing with the Giannis trade. I think
Hmm.
Giannis in Miami, and like I'm not as hype as some people are over it because Giannis, Bam, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins. I forgot the fifth person, but who's shooting the ball? They just did get Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll
Hmm.
take that. But before then, it was the spacing on that out of that five is rough. Like you need somebody who could really like when there's pressure in the game when you're getting pressed, somebody has to alleviate that pressure, be able to handle the rock, facilitate, and actually make shots. And I feel like the Raptors and the Heat right now are kind of lacking in that. Like there's no bad players per se, but like Davion Mitchell, he actually shot 40% from three. I stand corrected. I'll give him
Wait,
my
off of how
props.
many attempts though? How many attempts? That's some
Uh,
people be shooting that fake 40.
if 40 is 40 though, but let me see. Um, 3-point attempts, 4.3 a game. Wait,
Okay.
3.3 a game this year.
Never mind. Never mind.
So
Never mind. Never mind.
yeah, that means you're making one out
It,
of three. That's not crazy. And 4.3 in his rookie year. So for his whole career, he's
okay.
three a game. Uh, it kind
Okay.
of is a fake 40.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a fake
So
40. It's
I
a fake
still think
40.
they need a shooter. I'm glad they picked up Tim Hardaway, but
Yeah.
I think it makes the East more competitive for sure,
Yeah, I think
more
that's
entertaining to
honestly the
watch. It's not
biggest
like
thing.
oh, it's just a watch.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing this playoffs or this not this playoffs, but like this, well, including the playoffs too, because I obviously the Knicks won the chip. I think that's the biggest thing this offseason is that the we've talked a lot about the West with the star power that the West has. The East is gaining on that. They're getting their stars and they're building really solid teams. And it's interesting because Philly, in the past hour, essentially, has become a top three team in the East. And that's really interesting. I think with Miami, I'm more excited about it than others. It seems. I think they'll get guys, and I think Pat Riley will make stuff happen. Eric Spoelstra has done less with or more with less. That's my
True,
thing. I
true.
think Eric Spoelstra it's kind of a crime that he's never won a Coach of the Year, in my opinion. He's never won that because I think he's had multiple years in which he has been the best coach in basketball. You know what I'm saying? He tricked us into believing that Jimmy Butler is a superstar multiple times. multiple
Yeah.
times.
I think why he hasn't won is because of a couple things. The times when people watch the Heat the most play basketball
Hmm.
was when they had guys like D Wade and LeBron. And
Yep.
it's like, oh, you have LeBron, you have D Wade. Like, of course, those are the top two players in basketball. Fair. But the style that they play when they left, like with
Yes.
Jimmy, and especially the last couple of years when Bam has been the best player, it's kind of been kind of boring to watch. Yes, they win games, but I think that plays a part into why he's not coach of the year. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were also lower seeds in the
Yeah.
years that they had been going to the conference finals. Like they kind of always like coasted during the season, but they were like, we're gonna win 45 to 48 games. We're gonna get a good spot. Maybe like one of these years they were in the play-in, but they were like, when it's like an elimination game where time to really play, Jimmy Butler, you're going to take over. And it worked. And we're going to just muddy up the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's partially why too, with giving context to why he hasn't. Great coach. He's made a lot shake. And I do think that he's going to make it, he's going to make this work. I'm just worried about the spacing, man. Like,
And I hear you on that. I really do. I will say though, defensively, I'm not worried about this team at all. I'm not worried
no,
about
no.
this team at all. This is going to be a top 10, top 5 defense in basketball. Um, it's going to be super interesting because obviously teams like Detroit specifically, their defense got worse, and their defense is kind of one of the biggest reasons why they got to where they are. And they're a team that didn't shoot well or that couldn't shoot well. So, yeah, it's going to be super interesting. Obviously, Giannis, I still expect Giannis, especially if he's healthy. That's 30 points per game. That's one of the best players in basketball. And Bam, is one of the best defenders in basketball. So I think defensively, and also Davion Mitchell is relentless. They have a lot
Great.
of same thing with Andrew Wiggins. Defensively, this team, there's not a lot to worry about. Offensively, yes, the spacing is concerning. The lack of shooting is concerning. But I'm excited about Giannis in Miami. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I think all of these, I mean, you look at the Knicks, um, the Celtics trading Brown, even though I don't think they got better, it makes them more
They didn't.
interesting to watch with Tatum as the solo act. The Sixers, of course, with the pieces that they have, getting Jaylen Brown, drafting Fala, makes the East a lot more interesting. Even the Raptors and the Heat, those are five teams that I'm going to be tuned into now. And instead of like in years of the past, it's kind of like the East, they had a team where they had one team and it was like, are they going to be able to beat Boston? Even this year, before the first round, we were like, can the Knicks actually do it? Is
Yeah.
there a team that's Boston was the favorites to come out the East? I
Yep.
don't think it was the Knicks, and if you thought they were, I'm gonna say you were lying because we never saw it happen, especially them going down 2-1 to the Hawks. Also, the Hawks will be better too. I think the Hawks will be in the mix, not like in the top seed mix, but I think they'll be in the top six for sure. Again, Jalen Johnson was really good. Nikhil was good. They kept CJ McCollum. Kingston Flemings was a great pick for them. He can definitely shoot the rock, play defense, be a good facilitator. So I think the East is more interesting for sure. And
Yes.
I appreciate those moves more than anything for why for the just the sake as a basketball watcher. It makes me tune into the Eastern Conference. It's not all about like just whoever comes out the West is going to win. Even though obviously the Knicks won, it makes the East definitely more competitive, and that's what we want.
I think it solidifies, man. We really are in the parity era, and it's not. It's probably not ending anytime soon, unless the Spurs make that jump or OKC makes that jump. Obviously, it's not really ending anytime soon. Like the league is incredibly talented. Maybe too talented to have another dynasty. But and I don't believe that yet. But I think it should definitely be a conversation. So I'm
It could,
glad.
it could definitely be a conversation for sure.
Mhm.
Um, I think I think if OKC stayed healthy, I think they would have made to the finals. So I can't say that. I think they have the roster to still do it. It's just about winning a championship. Obviously, takes a lot of things to go into your favor. And I think OKC has the best chance of doing it. I think down the line, the Spurs do as well, just because of how young their talent is. And first playoff one run with Wemby, you already got to the finals. So I think there's just a lot of upside with those two teams. But I do agree with you. And that's why I say LeBron is my GOAT. Because just look at we always got to segue it back now, play. But you got to always you just got to look at the competition that there is. I mean, looking at the West, you had the Lakers were a fourth seed, and so were the Rockets, and they both won 50 games.
Yeah.
I think Minnesota did, if I'm not mistaken, and they got very close. So, like, there's always a lot of good teams in the league that have been here for a very long time. And these last 8 years, I would say this is the peak of how basketball has evolved and the peak of talents in the league as well. Like this, the skill level of basketball as a whole has really gone up, and I appreciate it as a fan.
Mm.
And in a couple of years, we'll be talking about the Chicago Bulls in these talks, man.
Yeah. So what I
Caleb,
was, I was, I was. Actually, it was kind of funny. I saw something on the timeline. It was like, oh yeah, Jalen Brown and Joel Embiid are now teammates, and obviously after Jalen Brown lost Game 7, he got on his stream and was like, yeah, guys like Joel Embiid flopping has ruined our game. That's it's. I think they'll be fine. Obviously, I think that the Sixers will be a good team, but I think it's just funny how the NBA works sometimes. Sometimes guys like Jimmy Butler will say, "Hey, yeah, hey man, I'm on Minnesota, and this is a team full of losers." And Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins will win a championship, and Jeff Teague. You know,
yeah, you heard and you've seen that story, right, of what he did that day too.
yeah,
That was wild, and he's the only one without a championship. So the NBA butterfly effect is really weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah,
if one thing doesn't happen, the domino effect of things would, like, for instance, you look at Shea knocking the ball out of Draymond's hand that game against the Warriors, where KD and Draymond started arguing. KD might not have left if that doesn't happen. And the parody era might not have even started. We might not even be having this conversation.
yeah, man,
It's
yeah,
it's a
man, it's
lot. And I
crazy.
mean, hell, Kawhi may not be in Toronto if they don't win that championship. Like, KD and Clay getting hurt, that was a big factor and really the main reason why they won, in my opinion.
The Thunder
And
don't become the Thunder if Kawhi leaves. Essentially,
Kawhi, yeah,
because
yeah,
they go in and got Paul George, assuming like yeah, we're gonna get Kawhi, and we know that for a fact because of that Rico.
yeah, that's true. That whole Paul George trade is the reason why they're there. And I think we don't have to talk about this for a long time, but I think that trade, because Sam Presti did it, and he was like, he made all those picks turn into Shea, Chet, Jalen Williams, and a bunch of other good players. I think other teams are like, we can use these picks and just really develop and make sure they hit.
Yeah, yeah,
But draft picks are still a gamble. It's
yeah,
it's a literal gamble. It's
yeah,
a legal way of doing it, but it's definitely a gamble. You have to make sure this guy stays healthy. Make sure the game translates to your system. Make sure his game evolves with the rest of basketball. Those are things that don't always just happen overnight. And
yeah,
you have to be a good GM, have good scouts. There are a lot of things that go into that. So, like, for instance, in the LaMelo trade, when they traded for a guy who, for a pick in 2033, we're gonna be almost 30 years old, bro.
chill.
That I don't care what it is. Like, you're giving me this. That's an eighth grader, literally. Like,
It
come
is. That
on,
is an
man.
eighth grader.
Yeah, let's be serious. So, like, I think Sam Presti has people acting like they can, feeling very confident sometimes, and we also have to talk about that. My hot take, though, I have one hot take. I don't think the 2021 Suns make the finals without all those injuries. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah,
I don't. I definitely don't think they beat the Lakers. And the way Kawhi was playing in that run, because they were pushing 6 games and Kawhi didn't play a single game in those conference finals. I think the Clippers actually make the championship that year.
low key, I'm thankful for those injuries because I wouldn't want to see the Clippers make the finals. So low key, I'm cool. Yeah, yeah,
Me
awesome.
too. Me too. Because they went to 6 games, and Paul George jagged 2 free throws in one of those games, and they lost. I think it was the game where DeAndre Jordan had that tip in,
Mhm.
like that dunk at the very end of the game. That series could easily win 7, and yeah, man, I think they were very close. I think because injuries aside, I think let me look it up. I think Kawhi 2021 playoffs. He was getting 30 a game. Like he had a great start.
He was
2021. Dang, I can't. Playoff stats. He averaged 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in 11 games. Yeah, that was one of his best runs before he got hurt. So that run in itself is just a shame. But
yeah
I would say that's the biggest NBA news of the week. Like there hasn't been besides the World Cup and outside of in other sports, there hasn't been a lot going on.
yeah
I don't think not really in football. It's kind of the dead time before training camp starts. And yeah, the NBA is wild. Let's see. I'm gonna look at Sham's page real quick and see if anything else happened. I don't think
yeah
it did though.
yeah man. It's crazy times
But
though. Crazy times. Crazy times. It'll be very
yeah,
funny if
I
we get
don't.
off the pod and like something crazy happens.
Um, the Grizzlies are trading Santi Aldama for AJ Johnson. And
Yeah,
again, look, this is my point exactly. A protected 2030 Warriors first round pick.
yeah,
But that
yeah,
was 4 years from now. The next World Cup will be going on.
yeah.
Like,
It's a lot of people forget that like what teams like like the Spurs or the Thunder did isn't normal. Sam Presti is just actually the devil. You guys don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta peep. You whatever GM, don't pick up the phone when Sam Presti answers, bro. Daryl Morey. That's why Daryl Morey got fired because he
that's
picked up the phone. And that's all you gotta do. Pick up the phone. Wait, give you my youngest and best asset. Cool. Like that's what
yeah,
happens.
bro. Like,
That's what happens.
I will say, I think, I think LeBaron Fine will actually be a better fit for the Sixers than Jared McCain, just because he can create his shot off the dribble more than Jared. Jared's more of a catch and shoot player. But I still digress. There was no need to trade him to OKC. In what way? Like they got nothing out of that.
Yeah.
Nothing. They just said, let me trade him to the best team in the league
Yeah.
so he can come off the bench and have an ultimate green light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be serious, man.
Yeah.
But I think that's all that we have on the basketball news. That was it. Thank you guys again for tuning into the breakdown. We'll be back next week, but I'm Austin Johnson,
I'm Drew Covington.
and we'll catch you next time. We're gonna do a key three, cut five to end the podcast. We're gonna do point guards of the 2010s, and I have the list. And Drew, we're gonna see what your opinion is. Um, all right, starting first, we're gonna go with Kyrie Irving.
I'm gonna cut Kyrie Irving. um,
Just like
y-
that.
yeah. A lot of conversation around Kyrie as a player. He is a great player. He has probably the greatest shot in NBA history. All of those things are true. He's probably the most talented offensively. Let's be clear, offensively talented point guard the league's ever seen. All of that being said, he's not like top 10 at like I don't know, and like he's not a top 10 player. He's not a top 5 point guard. He's never been. I saw someone the other day say, "Oh yeah, he was top 5. He was a top 5 player in basketball in 2018." No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Like what we're just saying stuff. He's never been that. He's never even received an MVP vote. I don't think he's been All NBA first team once in his career. These things add to resumes. Rings, it is not ring or die with resume. Sometimes when comparing specific players, it is ring or die. But Kyrie, outside that ring, hey man, he got hype moments and aura. That's all he really got in my eyes. So, cool guy,
But I'll
cool
give
guy,
him the
awesome guy.
Caleb Williams tag.
Oh yeah, the hype Williams and aura.
I'll give him the Caleb Williams tag.
Sick.
Next guy, Damian Lillard.
This is the 2010s, right?
Yeah, 2010s till
Okay,
now.
okay, okay. I'm gonna cut Dame. I'm hesitant to do so because Dame, I think like actually has like a decent body of work considering that he was the number one option. He at one point brought the Trailblazers to the Western Conference Finals. Um, One of the best clutch players in basketball history. Was a guy that can shoot out the gym next to Curry. Obviously, not on Curry's level. No one's at Curry's level. But, Dame made you reconsider that statement for a game or two. So, really good player. Done a lot for Portland. So, yeah, cool guy. I'm going to cut him though.
Okay. Next up, Russell Westbrook.
I'm going to keep him. He, yeah, he's one. Yeah. He is one of the greatest MVPs of all time. It's really simple. Mr. Triple Double. I don't know why I hesitated right there. I was just thinking about other guards in the 2010s. Yeah, he's Mr. Triple Double, MVP winner. Done a lot for OKC, man. A lot of people are going to talk about Shea being the greatest Thunder of all time, which I do think he is. But I think Russ deserves a statue over there too. Like right next to Shea's statue, there should just be a slightly smaller statue with Russ, because he's just.
Slightly smaller statue. That's disrespect. But
It's not because one's greater, but like what I'm saying, like what I'm saying, like I don't know. He's done a lot for that team. He stuck by the team as long as he could. He didn't want to get traded. They traded him away to the Houston Rockets. So the Brody, one of those guys. You watch basketball, man. You watch him play basketball. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's he's one of those ones. So shout out to bro. I'm keeping him.
all right. Next up. So far, you've cut Damian Lillard.
Yes.
You have cut. Hold on. You have cut Damian Lillard. You have cut Kyrie Irving. You kept Russ.
Yes.
Next up, Chris Paul.
I'm keeping my guy. What are we talking about? 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 I'm kind of
This
forgetting
is
the other guards.
2010s till now, by the way.
Till now? Till now? Bro, then,
Pause.
bro, wait till now? I thought, wait, chat. No. Keep this
Pause.
going.
Okay.
Keep this going. Because it just makes me look, it's a W clip. Ah, damn. So I guess I gotta just stick with keeper. Damn. I probably shouldn't have took Russ.
Nah, I would have taken Russ.
You would have taken Russ?
It would be between him and I can't tell you the whole list,
Okay,
but
okay.
it would
Oh
be
my
between him
gosh.
and Luca.
Why did I take Russ? Damn. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to let him go. Fuck, I love Chris Paul, man. I love Chris Paul. I saw him, like he spoke at my brother's graduation, bro. Like I love that. I love that dude, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, even though if I did the 2010s, I still would have had the same reaction.
Yeah, like
Because out of the 2010s, I would have taken Curry, Russ, Dame over
damn,
all three of them.
damn,
You know what I mean?
damn. Okay, I'm sorry, Chris, man. You're one of the great. In my opinion, you're the perfect point guard. You don't have in terms of like accolades, like outside of a ring, you have literally everyone. You were except an MVP and a DPOY. You were second in MVP voting your third season in the league. You are again like fantastic defender, fantastic facilitator, fantastic handle, fantastic scorer, fantastic shooter. You are the perfect point guard. You are a point guard that literally any team in their prime would kill to have. So I'm sorry though, man. Just because of the resume, man.
Yeah, man. Sorry, Chris Paul. Get well soon, man. Next up, Luka Doncic.
I'm trying to think who else is on this list if we're concluding now.
So
Um.
the last 15 years. Just think about that.
Okay. I'm really compelled to keep this guy. I'm really compelled to keep this guy. He is I'm gonna keep him. Yeah, I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him. It's Luka. You know, a lot of people say he hasn't. He's fat. He doesn't play defense. Words. I don't care. You know, all NBA since his rookie season. All NBA first team since his rookie season. I don't care. 30-9 in his sleep. I don't care. He's made it to the finals. I really don't care.
Good pick. Good pick. I would have picked him too. I don't think that's crazy at all. So you have now kept Luka, Russ, and you have cut Kyrie, Dame, and Chris Paul. Now there are three left,
Okay.
or four left.
Okay. Four. Damn. Okay.
Hold on, let me count right. Kyrie, Russ, Dame, Luka, Chris Paul. Three left, three left. So you can only pick one more.
Okay.
Next up, we got Jalen Brunson.
I'm cutting Jalen Brunson. I'm cutting Jalen Brunson. Um, Good player. Good player. I think he's a top 10 player in basketball today. I will say that the other guys on this list have reached higher highs. I think Chris Paul has been a top 10 player in basketball before. I think Luka has been arguably a top 2 basketball player before. I think Russ is obviously. I think we can argue Russ has been top 5 before. I think so. Yeah, I cool guy, won a championship, Finals MVP, something that a lot of these guys on this list haven't done. But at their top, nah.
And that's a good answer. I wouldn't have picked him either. Now we have two more. Who do you think I'm saying?
So I think one of them is gonna be Shea. Is it
Okay.
Shea? Is it Shea and Derrick Rose?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, cool. So is the next one Shea?
It's Stephen Curry.
Shit, I shouldn't have took Russ. Um, Honestly, actually, I'm okay with taking Russ. I'm keeping Steph, 4-time champion, Finals MVP, greatest shooter of all time, offensive engine, top 10 player of all time, probably. Especially if
He's the best point guard of all time.
in my opinion, no, because I love Magic Johnson. I think he's awesome. One Finals MVP as a rookie. I just want to let people know. You know what I'm saying? Has more Finals MVPs. Same amount of finals though. Same amount of finals ones, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm gonna take Curry. I think I'm actually okay with putting Russ there because he has an MVP. Luka doesn't. Um,
Okay.
but
As the
damn,
last one, because that
did I
means
cut
with you
Shea?
keeping,
This is a bad
with
list.
you, yeah, with you keeping, with you keeping Steph, that means that you did cut SGA.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. Um, I wish I
I
knew
don't
the
think it's a
list.
bad list.
I think so. I think Shea has solidified himself as a top 3 point guard of all time.
I
Um,
agree.
he has one of the highest peaks of all time as a guard. Period. You know what I'm saying? So it's damn. It's unfortunate because like he's that good, and I just technically said that like Luka's better and that Russ is better technically. But
What Giannis do?
you know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's tough, bro. It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, I think Luca, he should have been. If you had to pick and you knew everybody on the list, because I took out Derrick Rose and I took out
Yeah.
Chris Paul, I would have. Going Steph, Luca, SGA, probably.
Yeah,
Just from a talent perspective. But I
I
don't
mean,
think Russ is
yeah,
crazy because Russ still has the MVP.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Russell, damn, it's just sad, bro. It's just sad, bro. It's just sad. Okay, I want to do this with you now,
Okay.
but with forwards since 2010. So off rip, yeah, obviously
P3 Cup five
keep three, cut five
from 2010 till
from
now.
2010s till now.
Okay.
First option, Kawhi Leonard.
Let me think. Of course, I'm taking Brian. I'm taking KD. So, are you counting Giannis as a forward?
He does play the power forward position.
I'm cutting Kawhi. I'm sorry. I'm cutting Kawhi just because I know who I'm going to put on this list. He's had two two really good playoff runs, two and multiple very good seasons. It's just the other guys that I'm going to pick have a bigger sample size.
Okay. My next option, I think we all know that this is probably a cut. Jason Tatum.
Mm.
What the fuck?
I'm playing. I'm playing. You can think about it for a second, but
Yeah, I
there are
mean, yeah,
guys
you
that
could think.
Jason Tatum is a cut.
Okay. My next option, just to switch it up, get this out the way. LeBron Ramon James. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm playing. That's the goal, man. Keep obviously.
Okay. So far, out of Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and LeBron, or I haven't said Paul George. Paul George. Yeah. So
Okay.
out so now, out of Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Paul George, and Jason Tatum, you've elected to cut Jason Tatum, Paul George, Kawhi, and keep LeBron. Next up, Anthony Davis.
I don't think you would say that. Still a cut though.
Yeah, man, naturally. Uh, okay. Next one, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It's a key. He's
Okay.
a top 20 player of all time. Uh, he's had two MVPs. He might have won a DPOI.
Yes.
Am I right? He did? Yeah. So Giannis is a keep. I think that's a very safe keep. It just depends on who you're gonna say. Because you don't have to say somebody like Kevin Durant on here and then that looks stupid.
Yeah. 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 Um. So next one's Kevin Durant. Yeah.
We can wrap it up, man. I don't
Yeah.
know who else is on this list.
The other guys on this list, just to name them, and there were obviously cuts, who played the forward position. Pascal Siakam and Draymond Green. I'm saying so.
Uh,
You know what I'm
Wrap
saying?
it up.
Yeah. Um, but
We go Brian, Giannis, and Kevin Durant.
yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna cut real quick. I have one more that we can do.
Okay.
Quarterbacks strictly of the 2010s.
Okay.
I already have them. I already kind of have it loaded in my head.
Oh,
So
so the eight. We're gonna name eight.
yeah, keep three, cut five quarterbacks for the 2010s, please.
Okay. Shit.
And I'm
Okay.
not telling you this time.
Okay. I'm just thinking of Brady, Rogers. Yeah, Brady, Rogers, and Manning. Maybe Manning. Maybe Manning. Maybe Manning. We'll see.
Remember 2012 or 2013?
We're in 2013.
Depends on how you think about it.
What do I remember 2013? Roethlisberger?
No, 2013 Peyton Manning specifically.
Well, yeah, yeah. Not the greatest.
That's the best season ever.
Oh well, I thought you were talking about assets. My bad. Yeah, yeah, Manning. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, yeah. Cutting Drew Brees will not be fun though. That would not be fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you got a lot of names. But
Yeah.
all right. Lastly, we're gonna do keep three, cut five NFL quarterbacks edition of the 210. Cut. God damn it. Restart. Lastly, we're gonna do keep three, cut five NFL quarterbacks edition of the 2010s. First one up, we're gonna get him out the way first. Drew Brees.
You know, really great quarterback. Really great quarterback. Really great quarterback. One of the most talented quarterbacks to ever play the game. The most accurate quarterback to ever play the game. What he was doing at his height is incredible, and also he probably should have one more Super Bowl in his catalog. The Rams, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
um,
that's so
but yeah, he's not making it on this list. I love you, Drew Brees. You're a cool guy. We got the same name. Clear.
my goat. There's gonna be a Drew Brees video on my TikTok. I'll be on the lookout for that. Maybe within the week. I've been putting it off. I've been thought of doing it though. He was overshadowed by Brady, Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. Sad case. All right. I'll just let you decide. Next up, Pat Mahomes.
Cut. I understand that his what was it 2018 or 2019 season in which he
2018.
2018
Where he
season
won
which
MVP?
where he won MVP threw for over 5,000 yards is
Yeah.
like incredible. He didn't win that year. Um, but and also I think that Mahomes has an even better season just a few years down the line, in 2022, in which he threw for over 5,000 yards and over 50 touchdowns. So you know, but I
He threw
think
for 50 touchdowns in 2018 too.
good point, good point. But he didn't win. You know what I'm saying? Winning is a part of the game. And there are some
2019.
guys. Hmm.
You won a Super Bowl in 2019.
Wait, what?
2018 was his
No, I'm
first
still
year of
not doing it.
starting.
I'm still not doing it because there's this one guy who did a lot who there's a really talented guy on this list. Arguably the most talented passer of all time on this list. So,
Okay.
Mahomes, I think he's like probably the second or third best quarterback to ever play the game. I don't have him here because of specifically it's the 2010s. If it was just time, yeah, he's making my three.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you've cut two so far. Number three, Big Ben.
No. I mean, he's won a championship, and I understand like Ben as a
Two.
quarterback, two championships. Sorry, Ben as a quarterback is really solid, but those latter years, man, I'm not overly moved by those. So yeah, let's get Ben off this list.
Okay. All right. Now, Peyton Manning.
Keep. Don't get me wrong. I think there are quarterbacks that are more talented. I think that yeah, quarterbacks are more talented. However, statistically, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really need to say much. He's one of the greatest passers of all time. Yeah, I don't really have much to say outside of that. He's one of the greatest passers of all time. Don't get me wrong, talent means a lot, but so does also production. I think there are more talented passers out there, but production is kind of in my eyes at least is king. So
That's fair. That's fair. Um. Okay. So you have kept Peyton Manning, cut Drew Brees, cut Big Ben, and cut Patrick Mahomes. Next up, I'm trying to make it tough. I have a couple like on the top of my head, but I feel like I'm not trying to have it be easy cuts. Next up, we got Matt Ryan.
This is like such an unfortunate cut. Literally because if you look at Matt Ryan's production, he was like that. A lot of people again, like a lot of people forget just because again they blew that lead and that is the most embarrassing thing that's happened here. It's literally right there in Atlanta. The most embarrassing thing that's happened here. But bro, that MVP season, that was real. Don't get me wrong. He had like probably a top, well, not probably, a top two receiver to pass to. But like, I don't care. He was a real. He was really good. He was really good. I'm not really happy about cutting Matt Ryan because I think he's an underrated player as a quarterback. I think if you look at the stats, there's not a lot of seasons in which he threw under 4,000 yards. There now in today's game, in the too high safety game, quarterbacks are struggling to throw over 3,500. And he was doing it at will. So shout out to bro, man.
Right.
Cut it now.
Next, Eli Manning.
Cut. Those two
The two
championships
Super
are like,
Bowls don't move you.
huh?
Two Super Bowls don't move you.
Nah, nah. Someone said that Eli Manning's life is like his NFL career is like a Disney movie, in which it's like guys, if we just we might not be the most talented or like the best, but like if we just come together and we get it done, we can do anything. That's what those two Super Bowls are. But I will say thank you for stifling Tom Brady's career just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted them to win those Super Bowls as well,
Yeah,
but kind of mid throughout his career, I think he
yeah,
had a whole stack. So you have cut Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Big Ben, Matt Ryan, and Eli Manning, which means you have kept Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady as your last two,
yeah.
with Peyton Manning as your third.
It was
You did a
crazy.
good job.
I thought for a second you were gonna say like Cam Newton, and I was just gonna be like, it's unfortunate.
I was really just because of one season I couldn't do it. I was debating on if I should say Philip Rivers or
Mm,
something like that, and then leave them off. And then you're like, "Damn, I didn't know that they were you're gonna leave off Aaron Rodgers." But I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna do this again though.
awesome.
I'm
I got you, bro. I got you next time.
all right, bet. And we might have to do running backs all the time. I want to see where your head is at with that.
Okay.